The man makes $88,000 a day by lying down and becomes a billionaire after 35 years. However, he lives like a tramp. Every day, he uses an old toothbrush to comb his hair, and the mirror he uses is also made up of discarded nail scissors. Even so, every time he takes a bath, he has 2 hang dozens of mineral water bottles in midair, pierce small holes in the bottom of the bottles, and luxuriously take a bath with mineral water. What's more strange is that the man has to do morning exercises every day, but the place for morning exercises is in the narrow and eerie staircase. Here, not only are all kinds of garbage ornaments hung, but there are also piles of discarded cans. Not only that, after every morning exercise, the man has to kneel with a small school bag and worship devoutly. Because the thing that is refreshed once a day in the school bag is exactly the secret for him to become a billionaire. 35 years ago, the man and his brother were pursued by the police for stealing and were forced to flee here in a hurry. The police fired a shot at them, which happened to hit the brother's thigh. The injury was quite serious, and they could only surrender and go to the hospital, but when they reached the first floor, they found that the door here was locked and could not be opened no matter what, and every time they walked up the stairs, they would always come up from below. If they went down, they would appear from the top. It was extremely eerie. After trying countless times, they had to believe that the 3 of them were really trapped in this infinite loop of the corridor. The police were somewhat unwilling. He took out a bunch of keys and threw them down the gap of the stairs, but after a while, the keys strangely fell down from above and hit at his feet. The younger brother was somewhat desperate. He shouted desperately towards the downstairs, but only received a burst of echoes and dead silence in response. However, at this time, the older brother could no longer hold on. A lot of blood began to ooze from his leg. Seeing that if there was no treatment anymore, the older brother would die. Seeing this, the police hurriedly broke the glass of the vending machine with a fire extinguisher, took out the water inside to clean the wound for the older brother, and also wrapped the thigh with his suit. Even so, it still could not stop the wound from continuing to deteriorate. The younger brother began to argue anxiously, and the police quickly comforted him, saying that once he was found missing by the police station, he believed that someone would come to look for them soon, and then they could escape. However, they waited for 24 hours in a row, but still did not see the shadow of the rescue, and the older brother also reached his limit, lying motionless in the younger brother's arms and completely lost his breath. Just when the younger brother was in despair, the police beside him was horrified to discover that the food they had eaten in the vending machine had somehow found a little more. The police collapsed. He kept venting his anger at the vending machine, but at this time, the younger brother rushed over, pushed the police away, snatched the pistol at his waist, aimed at the police. The younger brother was somewhat excited and wanted to take revenge for the dead older brother, but the police was not afraid at all, but instead showed a strange smile. 35 years later, the man opened the school bag and took out a box of drinks from it, habitually placed it against the wall, then took out a stack of money and casually put it in his small vault. Then, after the man classified everything in the school bag one by one, he began to sit on the stairs and bite the apple leisurely while watching the novel. And the police living downstairs had already become an old man. Time had already broken his will. He not only never exercised, but even the staircase where he lived was already filled with garbage at the corner. The pungent stench of decay was nauseating. It was completely the opposite of the younger brother's side. In this corridor that could never get out, they had already turned enmity into friendship and relied on each other for life. However, just when they all thought they would live like this forever, an accident happened suddenly. That day, the old man held his head in pain, and the younger brother hurriedly came to check. At this time, the old man kept muttering to him not to take the elevator. However, before the younger brother could figure out what was going on, the old man kicked his legs and died on the spot. After the old man died, the man began to become restless and kept running back and forth in the staircase. She didn't know how to face the days ahead. However, at this time, the younger brother was pleasantly surprised to find that an elevator had somehow appeared in the staircase on the first floor at some unknown time, seeing the hope of escape right in front of her eyes. But she didn't dare to go in. Because of the old man's last words before his death, the man still resisted the urge to escape. But then, the oppressive environment in the corridor made her start to become irritable. The beloved novel was torn apart by her, and the diaries on the wall were also scrawled randomly. But even so, the man's mood still could not be relieved at all. Finally, she couldn't help coming to the first floor and pressed the elevator button. As the elevator opened slowly, the man walked in, but nothing unexpected happened. Not only that, there was also an extra set of clothes inside. The man changed into the clothes and suddenly became a hotel waiter. At this time, the elevator opened and a couple walked in and even started to be intimate in the elevator. The man instinctively asked for their luggage and followed them out after the elevator opened. And at this time, a bee was somehow let out by the man and stung the boyfriend. And the boyfriend was allergic to bees and soon caused a severe reaction. They had to look for an exit, but strangely, the elevator door could not be opened at some unknown time. All exits were closed, and they would also be trapped here forever until